Hello and welcome to Center Stage with Michael Toda and Harvey Rothman. Wow, I'm blowing my ears out. Hold on a second. Okay, some technical difficulties. So welcome, we are now on analog radio. So analog radio listeners, welcome to the show. Harv, how are we doing tonight?
Hey, Mike, we're doing great.
We got a packed show.
What are we doing? We have a packed house.
A packed house. The studio is packed with the cast.
We got people here. We got people on Skype.
That's right, with the cast of the upcoming film, Who's Jenna Jameson?
Who's Jenna Jameson?
Oh, well, you know who Jenna Jameson is. I know you do.
I've known her for years.
So before we get started with that, before we introduce the cast and our co-host, because I will be sitting out and joining the cast and production company of the show, and our co-host Laura Madsen will be joining in, who's also the publicist of the film. So welcome, Laura.
Hello.
And Laura's going to be filling in and taking the seat. So some order of business. Our friend Tony Darrow sent me an email.
How is Tony?
And Tony is doing well. And May 30th, he is going to be at the Belmar Winery in Marlboro, New York.
I'll be there.
And
just for the wine.
Tickets are sold at eventbrite.com. $75 in advance, $85 at the door. It's comedy, live show, buffet dinner, and a portion goes to charity. So,
what charity?
It is the Fraxa Foundation. Don't know what that is, but you know, Tony's a great guy for getting involved in that and donating his time and helping out for a good cause. So we want to give him some props and help support that effort. He's been good to the show, so
sounds good.
We'll be good to him. And our friend Anthony Marinelli is in Cannes right now.
Yes, he is.
With Acoustic Space. So we want to wish them luck. He had his showing in the Short Film Festival over there in Cannes, that was today. Yeah. And hopefully he'll bring back something, distribution, investors, something.
At least a couple of dollars.
You know, a couple of dollars, whatever. You know, because I'll be available after September.
See you in September.
So if any of our listeners in France are near Cannes, go help out Anthony Marinelli and Acoustic Space folks
Merci beaucoup.
with their effort. Okay?
Okay.
What else you got going? What do you have going?
What do I have going? Oh, my goodness.
How was your book signing?
My book signing is a week from Sunday.
Okay.
And that's going to be at the Turnstile in Belmar.
All right, the Turnstile in Belmar. Is that a bookstore? Is that a cafe?
It's a cafe. It's a coffee shop.
Okay.
We've got a poster up here, so that's going to be a lot of fun. That's from 1 to 3 next Sunday, the 31st, and that'll be the first. I've got others that I'm working on, but that's the first. So that's the book signing. This has been a really big audition week around here. So everybody's running out auditioning for shows. It's like one after another.
Plays.
Yeah.
Plays.
I call them shows.
Okay.
I'm from the old school.
The old school.
The old school.
Well, you're an old man.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Well, I'll tell you a story about that. So I went out to do a musical audition in Spring Lake. Our good friend Eric McDonough was there too. Mm-hmm. So we were both auditioning. And this is the very first time I've auditioned for a musical in 44 years. So I took my son, the critic, with me. All right. So he's standing in the back listening. I did my song. Eric gives me a thumbs up. I go over to my son. I said, "How did I do?" He looks at me and says, "You look like an old man who's trying to make a comeback."
Well, you have to get a start in order to make a comeback. So,
Hence 44 years.
So
anyway,
yeah. Well, speaking of that, Freehold Playhouse, our Center Players are doing Doll's House, and I believe there is still a role open if anybody is interested. The role of Dr. Rank. I went to the reading. They were doing a read-through last night, and the role still wasn't filled. So I went and read. It's a great role, a great cast. Mm-hmm. And if my schedule permitted, I'd love to be a part of it. But if someone out there is interested, contact Center Players. They're looking to fill the role of Dr. Rank in a Doll's House, and it'd be a great way to get involved.
Actually, a lot of theaters are looking for people now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're having a hard time.
Wow. Well.
Strangely enough.
So maybe you can make multiple comebacks then.
Ooh.
That's right. Now, before we move on to the cast, last week, and for our new listeners that are welcoming us in our first night of syndication at Analog Radio, we want to share with you a little bit of what goes on here because we are constantly plagued with technical difficulties at times. So Laura, this week, in producing this show, said, well, what's the phone number for call-in? And, that opened up a can of worms.
Of course.
Because last week we had a really interesting discussion regarding that. And our engineer, Ruben,
Who's not here
tonight to witness what he did. I think he's hiding because he knew that I would not let this go.
He's behind the door.
So there was the discussion. I announced call-in will be at 609-800-1003. And all of a sudden, the hands started waving. Now, this is the number for the past 2 years that we've used. So this is the conversation. And I want you to pay careful notation of Ruben's English grammar.
Yeah, it's the King's English.
Hey, do we have any callers? Callers, we want to hear from you. 609-800-1003. No, not 609-1003. What's our number today?
No, can't give that number out.
Okay, I can't give that number out.
It's secret.
We've only had that number forever. What is our new number?
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, Mike and Harvey didn't listen to me when they sat in their chairs.
Put it in writing. Put it in writing.
Listening.
Put it in writing.
I specifically told them.
Pacifically.
As opposed to easternly.
Or Atlantically.
Easternly. That's right.
Not easternly, pacifically.
That's right.
Ruben is going to give us a course on listening.
Okay.
Listening. That's right.
Because clearly the speaking part has got a problem.
Did you hear me? I was speaking English to you.
Okay. Pacifically tell me what you're saying.
Is that Pacific time or Atlantic time?
I could do a whole hour with this right now. Pacifically.
No,
Where did you go to school? Where did you go to school? Did you take the park test? Did you take the park test?
No, I didn't take the park test.
Okay, tell me specifically.
Specifically, what are we supposed to listen to?
What are we supposed to listen to? Now you know why I didn't listen. You know?
Yeah, see?
Is that the King's English?
So Laura, this is
do we have
why
any
we didn't know what number to give you because every day is a different phone number here.
Well, specifically, I want some Piscetti now.
But that's right. Well, in Passaic.
You want spaghetti?
So I think Ruben is getting a hooked on phonics lesson right now, and that's why he's not here.
Yes. He'll have it by later tonight.
That's right. Well, listen, that's all I've got. I know we're anxious. We've got a room full of folks here to talk about this film, so I don't want to belabor that anymore. And Laura's anxious to get in the chair and take over the show. So
Not just yet.
Harvey and Laura, I will pass the baton at this point, and
Just wave it.
you tell us what you want. Tell us what you want.
Okay.
I want the driver's seat. That's what I want. So get out. Come on, you're passenger now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm passenger. I've been replaced,
You've been replaced.
and I can't see Tracy because she's on the other side. But that's okay. Hi, Tracy.
I'm here. Hi.
Okay, we've got good sound. That's good. Okay, so we're going to start with Laura.
Yes.
Just a few questions, and we'll kind of get revved up here, okay?
So how did I get wrapped up in this, right?
That's my question.
I can read minds, too.
You were looking over my shoulder.
Well, maybe a little bit of that, too. Well, I actually had a mutual friend with the director of this film, who's Jenna Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Facebook loves to make those suggestions?
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
you
yeah.
should friend this person because, you know, funny enough, I lived in the same town as Tom for a while.
Right.
And we both know the same person. And
You got the same garbage collector and all that?
yeah, and, you know, our kids probably played at the same playground and that kind of thing. And Facebook just, you know, put us in touch.
Interesting.
So he's the writer, director, producer. I'm the publicist, radio show host, writer, and it just all kind of worked out.
Awesome.
The rest is history.
So besides this, what else do you do?
What else do I do?
You're the
I
lady
have
in red.
Yes, that's my moniker. Well, I have a blog. It's theladyin.redblog.com. And I'm a freelance writer. I write for my own publication. And I'm also a celebrity publicist. And I somehow wind up on radio shows from time to time. I don't know how that happens, but,
It happens to the best of us.
it does. It's just one of those things in life.
Exactly. So, all right. Now, tell me about the bands that we've got.
We've got a couple of really amazing bands on the soundtrack for Who's Jenna Jameson. Let's see. We're going to start off with, I think, a band called SVB tonight.
Yes.
Yes, and they have a couple of songs on the soundtrack. They are from Los
We've
Angeles.
got something on the soundtrack.
It sounds like a frog,
like a bubble.
like the game Frogger.
Skype.
No, it's not Skype.
No, that was me.
Oh,
That's what I thought.
they're a Los Angeles band, and they were under the label of, I guess it's now 5-time Grammy winner Cucurell. For a while, he's got his own label, Sugar Wugga Music. So they came on board. We also have local artist Jesse Rubin. He's featured on the soundtrack.
Where's
as
he
well.
from?
He's from Philly, and then we have Slim Chance and the Gamblers.
And I know they're local.
They're a Jersey band. So we're going to give you guys a flavor of a little bit of their music tonight.
So we've got a flavor of the whole country here.
Pretty much, yeah. If you're not in Philly or LA or Jersey, then you're just not
Then
anywhere.
you don't exist.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
No.
We've got a lot of listeners from South Carolina and a couple from Alaska.
We actually have listeners, I believe, from all over the world tonight.
We do. We
yeah.
do.
So it's pretty
Well, we
awesome.
always do, but now in particular. Okay, cool. Anything else you want to tell us about the show, or should I just start jumping?
Well, you don't know about this, but I always wear radio shoes. So I have to say, tonight I'm wearing some of my favorites. There are some Tamara Mellon strappy sandals, Python and suede, and I'm known for coming on air. Shoes matter, even when you can't.
Do they bite?
I hope not. Well, if they do, you'll hear me scream during the show. Don't mind
Okay.
them.
I need to see your shoes.
Oh, I think I tweeted them. Tracy, we've got Tracy Birds all here Skyping. Tracy, you got to catch up on your tweets. I always tweet my shoes. She understands. Tracy understands shoes.
Okay, so we're going to jump to, I think, Tracy, right?
We've got Tracy Birdsall
All
here.
right.
Speaking
So
of California.
Before we jump to Tracy, let's hear one of those bands. This is Tracy's lead-in, and this is
Maintain. It's by SVB.
Baby, listen up, I've got a story to tell. Your mama minded you run through it all so very well, but you need to slow it down. Take a walk instead of running your mouth. And as I walk away, it feels like a mistake. And then my heart breaks, 'cause I know there's no give and take. 'Cause I just wanna love you, but I can't always tell my heart what to do. You're something I can't explain. So for now, I wanna maintain this way. Come again, I don't wanna understand.
So that was Maintain by SVB. That's your lead-in, Tracy. How are you?
Hi, sorry, I had silenced it because you could hear me texting.
Oh, okay. You were texting with Laura, right?
I was.
Actually, yes. We're exchanging views at the moment.
Yes, I could tell. So how are you tonight?
I'm doing great, thank you.
I should say this afternoon for you.
Yeah, it's still light outside, you can see. Yeah.
All right, so I've read some of your materials, and I see you've had a thriving modeling career. Is that right?
Yes, I like the word thriving. I think that's very funny.
Well, it's better than Pacific.
Well, no, it's just because it's out there a lot, and and I always wonder what makes thriving. Yes, I work, but I just think it's funny.
You know what? If you work, you're thriving.
Okay, then I'm thriving everywhere, right?
In this day and age. I think that's true for everybody.
Everyone's thrivers.
Anyway, so you started acting in the 80s, and I believe your first appearance was on Family Ties?
Yeah, but actually my first thing was a Sunkist soda commercial when I was 15, so,
Okay.
and those ran for like a decade, so, yeah. It's my first union job. Yes. I, too, used to do plays, but that was growing up, yeah.
Some of us are still growing up.
I think all of us.
Yeah, right. And so how did you come to star in this film? Who's Jenna Jameson?
Well, it's funny because I was at the Action on Film Festival. Del Weston does this every year out in Pasadena, and so was Tom Baldinger. And so I was getting this award called the Maverick Award, and it's basically kind of an honorary award, an all-encompassing award. And then I won a couple other awards for a couple other films that night. And Tom just came up to me afterwards and said hi, and, introduced himself. And then I heard from him shortly thereafter on Facebook. He sent me a message and basically, I guess he knew I could act because I was getting the Maverick Award, right? So.
Yeah.
And then I think that the look played into it. And so, yeah, then he sent over the script and a couple other scripts. And the thing about Tom that I can tell you is the scripts are different genres, and they're all really good. So it wasn't just the comedy that was good. So that was really interesting for me. And so you always want to work with a director or a writer who is so, can cross genres like that, very talented. And so, yeah, from there on, we just started talking about, what it was and basically signed up for it, and it was kind of nice because it fit. I wrapped another film about a week before this one started, so it fit in really nicely with my schedule too.
So what did you think about the script the first time you read it?
I've said this before many times, but when I first read it, I started laughing right away, which is very important in a comedy. It has to be on the page.
Yeah.
And then by the time that I was once I got to the 70-something, I looked up and I thought, oh, I'm still laughing because I love this type of humor. And he really hit it on hit the nail on the head. And the funny thing that Bill Sorvino and I were saying while we were filming is, when as an actor you get the script, you start to kind of work it and you start to kind of play with the dialogue a little bit. But by the time we actually were shooting our scenes, we were still so close, if not exact, what Tom had written, and that's how good his writing was. So it starts out with that really strong script, and from there, it's just up to everybody to do their part.
So before you read the script, did you know who Jenna Jameson was?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Some people have said no. Okay.
I know an awful lot more about her now than I did then, though, so, yeah.
But Tracy, what can you tell us about your character, Jenna, in Who's Jenna Jameson?
Well, I mean, the only similarity really, just hang on, sorry, I accidentally kicked on my foot massager. The only similarity really is that I did.
Foot massager.
Is that what they call it these days?
Speaking of Jenna Jameson.
It's getting randy in here.
Quote unquote foot massage.
Okay. Here.
Jesus, you must need a lot to satisfy you.
Okay.
Your feet.
Okay. I have a foot heater on the other side. So anyway, So now I completely forgot what I was saying. I think that the look is similar. She's a very bright girl. I mean, so that was similar. But since I'm just playing a doppelganger, it didn't have to be the same person. I mean, of course she's very cool and she's very bright, and we were both geeky as little kids. But I don't know that really plays into it because Jenna Casey was her own character. Jenna Casey's also very intelligent. She works as an attorney at a law firm. So yeah.
So how did you go about preparing for your role?
Well, it's funny because a lot of the dialogue has a lot of, porn jokes in it. And so I had to kind of first learn about her because if I'm going to be a doppelganger of her, then I have to have some similarities and mannerisms. So I watched a lot of her interviews and stuff, which I have to admit I was really impressed with. I did watch a few of the clips from the movies, and I have to tell you, I learned a lot, but I don't know that I needed to
How
learn
much
more.
did you learn?
Not enough because I couldn't watch it long enough.
Any specifics?
Yes, but I'm not sharing.
Oh, I know, we're a family station.
I
Right?
was like, you can do that? Oh my
How many different ways?
Who knew? I think it's completely unnecessary, though, but that's just my opinion. But no, so I kind of felt that I needed to know about her because my character knows so much about her.
Right.
It's in a lot of the dialogue and things like that. And you have to be able to rattle it off. And then, of course, I had to look up, the male porn stars that are mentioned because, there's lines that have to do with them. And so if I'm saying those lines and I have to really feel that way, then I have to look up and see who they are. That I did by Google image search, which I got to tell you, that didn't work out so well for me either.
All right, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
How does Michael Toda do as a porn star?
Well,
Did you have to research it in the same way, Michael?
She coined me stainless after the first take.
it was brilliant. It was like one of my very favorite moments. And ask Michael who did his shirt.
Who did your shirt?
Yes, Tracy does wardrobe.
Oh,
Crafty. She was helping with the broccoli rabe. Chewing it. Yeah.
chewing
Yeah.
it. Okay.
She was caught.
Is that what
nibbling.
they call masticating?
She was caught nibbling on the broccoli rabe, like out of the side of her mouth. It was funny. And we had a lot of fun.
Yes.
What else was it?
I'd like to chime in on Michael's porn star characterization.
Yeah.
I was
That's Bill, by the way.
This is Bill.
Say it.
We had the funniest scene where he comes in. I don't want to give anything away, but he comes in one scene and can I say about the hug?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tom. Yeah. So Tom, I forgot if Mike, if you just did it or Tom said, do that again.
Did
I
what?
told Tom, I said, I want to do something here. I said, I want to give him
Okay.
a hug
Yeah.
and have him kind of be skeeved out.
Yeah.
And I said, and I figured that would be your natural reaction.
Yeah.
And then by the time I told him, he was walking, he's like, oh, let me tell Bill. I said, no, don't tell Bill. I want to surprise him, but it was too late.
I think he told me, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I didn't think it would be so cheesy, and your face, and like the cheesiness of your face, and your porn star like kind of weirdness, like crossing boundaries, like sort of, like oh come here, and like this big hug, and I'm like being squished, and I'm like ugh, this guy's greasy, and the porn star.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
He's the porn star who just doesn't get the
No,
fact
doesn't
that
get it.
nobody wants to
Doesn't
like
get it.
hug him or shake his hand. Like
Or
you don't know
stand
where
within
that
3
hand's
feet of
been.
him.
It
The
was
rest of his
great.
body. The rest of his body's been.
And then and the funny thing is like he's like hey is this guy showered? He's not going to be weird with me, is he?
Right about Joe. About
If
Andy.
he is, he should at least be clean.
Yeah, it was great. Mike was great as a porn star.
It was no, but
Hysterical.
It's all in the writing. Starts with the script.
Well, it does start with the script, but you were able to bring something to that was just
but you know what
it
was,
was yeah.
you know what was funny just about the process, and this was one of the things was the day before, the Friday that you guys were shooting, I wasn't scheduled to be there, but from a process perspective, I said I didn't want to come in on Monday and be like, "Hi guys, how you doing?" And then we got to just jump into it. So I figured Friday I'll hang around the set, build a relationship, meet Tracy and Bill, and then this way when we come into this scene like we're supposed to be buddies, there was some chemistry there. We were hanging out, the day before, so it was.
Buddies
Yeah.
already.
That was actually my next question. I don't think this mic is working right. Yeah, I was going to ask about chemistry
Yeah, no, it's great.
amongst all of you.
It's great. Well, I mean, I know Gary from Staten Island days of,
I saw another boom bar downstairs.
Who's that?
Who's that?
I was coming in, and this guy goes, "Hey, you look familiar." I said, "Yeah, you too."
Talking to the mic.
Now that everybody could hear you.
I figured I was projecting. Yeah.
No, it's not theater.
This is
This
not
guy
theater.
was coming out, and he goes, "I know you," and I go, "Yeah, I know you too." And we just couldn't figure out.
Joseph Anthony?
That's it.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
They do a show here. They do the comedy show.
He's from Staten Island, yeah.
But we're fun here.
Yeah, I like to think so.
So, Michael, you made Kevin Steele stainless.
Yes.
Stainless
Well,
Actually,
actually, I didn't.
Tracy.
Tracy coined that name.
She brought out the stainless in your
Yes,
character.
and then of course the stainless started to take many different connotations along throughout the day. So it was pretty funny. But
In relation to chemistry, Joe D'Onofrio and me have worked together on. I think this is our 4th film together.
Uh-huh.
So, and we always play like off each other. In every movie, we always wind up being friends or like with each other, adversarial or together or somehow. And it's like you're like just falling into a zone with him. So I don't know if you know who Joe D'Onofrio is, but he plays my best friend in the film.
Right.
And he was he's been in several movies and stuff like that. But it's always nice to. And with Gary too, we had some. Oh my God, we had just a blast.
Laughing.
Oh my God. But the chemistry wise, it was great. And then Tracy and I, and we were able to just fall into that place of meeting someone new and all that thing, and
Now, you weren't all on the set at the same time.
we were. Well, Gary came in the last day,
Yeah, a little bit.
but
I'd say all in all, everybody got along so well as people that it was really easy to find that chemistry no matter what the relations were. I know that it just, it was kind of seamless. Everybody was such professionals and everybody got along so well.
What were the relations?
just just straight up,
Little porn
professional.
joke
Oh yeah, there you go.
there. Oh, sorry about that.
California does not mean you can make jokes behind my back. No, I'm kidding.
All right, so who's going to tell me the Fly story?
Oh, God.
The Fly.
Oh, the
The Fly.
Oh, I didn't hear this.
That's another. I have to speak.
No,
to
this is the
his-
Fly, not the Fly.
No, the Fly. I have to speak to his rep.
This fly was
Get
hilarious.
contract out.
We have video proof of the Fly. Actually.
Yeah, there was.
you guys took video of that?
Oh yes, we did.
Do I look like an idiot?
No, you don't. It was like how many actors does it take to kill a fly? That was.
Yeah, on set.
Did I
we
look
had-
like Danielson with the chopsticks?
We had a fly, and at one point was like, all right, it doesn't matter, let the fly run around. And I was looking to the sound guy, and he's like, as long as it doesn't get near the mic, we don't pick it up. And we had like, I think it was like the fourth or the fifth take. All of a sudden,
And it was a good take.
It was a good take. And Bill and Tracy, they're having this debate, and I don't want to give too much away, but the characters of Bill's character, Tracy's character, Joe D'Onofrio, and Jen Jacobs' character are having this discussion. And this fly just comes right in the middle of the shot, and it's like flying around in between Tracy and Bill, and I had to call a cut.
Our faces, yeah.
And then for the next 4 minutes, which seemed like an hour,
Yeah.
all of us were trying to kill.
It was
this
only
fly.
4 minutes.
Maybe
Felt like
that.
half an hour.
A long 4 minutes.
It was like we're everybody's trying to kill the
Oh.
fly, and it's going on the lights, and everybody's like,
Oh,
"Don't
yeah.
hit the lights! Don't hit the lights!" And I'm going,
I mean,
"Insurance!"
It wasn't dead.
But we
Like,
didn't
the
kill the fly
thing-
because no flies were harmed.
No flies. No flies were harmed in the making of this film, or porn stars.
That's right. No flies or porn stars were harmed in the making of this film.
Well, this is good. What were you saying, Tracy?
No, somebody thought that they killed the fly. I can't remember who it was. And then the fly got up and started flying again.
Rudy,
Who was
wasn't
that,
it?
Who was it?
I think it was Rudy.
Oh no, it's Tim. Tim thought he got it. He was like all flexing his
It was the
muscles. And
fly with
the next thing you know, the
lives.
thing started flying around
Yeah.
again.
Bill? Gets back up.
I don't
Fly
know why
with
she
9 lives.
swallowed the
Although
fly.
we do have some really great video of you trying to kill it, jumping on Tom's couch, Bill. Which that's.
I was jumping on your couch.
Yes.
I think at one point.
I think I did a Danielson maneuver at the end of the movie where he does that flying thing with the feet up. I
flying
tried
kick.
quite
that
The
one.
crane kick.
The crane. I did the flying crane.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Tom's couch in just a little bit. But actually, right now, we have to take a commercial break, and we will be right back. And we're back on center stage, ladies and gentlemen, and we're talking to the cast of Who is Jenna Jameson? And we were talking with Tracy Birdsall and my co-host for tonight, Laura Matson. Laura,
Yes.
what's the phone number here?
Well, specifically,
Specifically.
we want to mention that if you'd like to call in and ask any of the cast or the director Tom Baldinger any questions, it's 609-800-1003. Specifically,
One more time.
609-800-1003.
So call in, everybody. Okay, I'm just getting a note here. Oh, yes. And we also want to announce that tonight we are syndicated for the first time with Analog Radio. So we're giving a shout out to our friends at Analog Radio. I love doing that. Anyway, so back to Tracy. So, all right, so you're playing Laura Casey in this film, right?
Jenna Casey.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Jenna
Jenna
Casey.
Casey.
Well, Laura Casey.
Who's Laura Casey?
Her sister.
We'll find out in the sequel.
All right. I'm
Her
sorry.
evil twin.
I've got all these names floating around. Jenna Casey. All right. Is this your first time playing a lawyer?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, because you look like a lawyer right now.
Ah, I
Actually,
haven't been told that before.
Yeah, Harvey is a lawyer, Tracy. Just so you know, Harvey is an actual lawyer.
yeah, I do the real thing. But anyway, so what kind of lawyer scenes do you have in the film, if any?
No, I definitely do. And it's kind of, gosh, I don't want to give away any spoilers, Tom.
No spoilers.
Please don't.
Yeah, no, there's some, I'll call it chemistry scenes in the law office, and so it was kind of funny because I had to spend all day in a suit, and a long pants.
Tracy
and
doesn't
jacket.
normally wear suits.
I don't really I was so uncomfortable. I'm like, oh my God, people dress like this every day.
Me too. I hate suits. I hate ties. Actually, can I take this off?
Yes, take it off.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, what kind of show is this?
I just got to take my tie off. Oh, that's better.
Okay, much better.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're wearing a suit, and as a lawyer, like, who are you interacting with?
I'm interacting with the Jonathan character mostly, and also with Jen's character, Sheila. And so, I can't really say what's going on in the scene.
Right,
because,
I understand.
Yeah, I just can't. But no, it's a really fun scene. It was kind of, it was very lawyer-like, but there was something very that you wouldn't really see happen in an office happen. So it was kind of cool. It was a great scene.
Okay. And actually, Bill's character is a financial person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Okay.
financial advisor for a wealth management company on Redmond.
Arrowhead Advisors.
Okay. And is she your client or?
No, we are dating.
Okay. You don't work there. You're just dating.
No. We met at a bar, and then we date, and then the movie takes off from there.
Okay. The normal stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
The normal stuff everybody can relate to.
Yes.
Everybody can relate to looking sort of like an adult film star, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I get that all the time.
Thanks for that, Laura.
All right. So anyway, so I want to get into another quick question. I noticed in reading your bio that you've been doing a lot of sci-fi last couple of years.
Yes, I love science fiction.
That was my question. Yeah. That
Love,
one of your
love.
passions?
It is. I took it off for the radio show. I finally got my robot necklace back on when I got back here. I'm like, oh my God, because I know Jenna Casey wouldn't be into that. So, and actually, if I turn the monitor, you can see I have my robots back here from the last movie, a couple of
cool.
them, and then a couple more in the other room from the movie before. Yeah, I like them around me.
Robots, huh?
Robots.
Yeah, like anything science
Foot
fiction, AI, stuff
massagers
like
and
that.
robots.
Robots and massagers.
Robots
Yeah.
and massagers.
Okay.
So we could read into that, like porn, robots. Okay. So give me some insight into Jenna, though. Who's Jenna?
Well, I mean, Jenna Casey is, as you know, she's an attorney. She's very fun, but she's very bright, and she's very cautious. And so, what's kind of fun is with Jenna and Jonathan's relationship is they're both kind of that way. They're both very fun-loving and free, but at the same time, they're intelligent, and so they're kind of watching their steps, so to say. So as the story unfolds, and he's protecting her from his best friend who thinks that she looks like a porn star, which isn't so.
He thinks she looks like a porn star,
He's
or
obsessed.
she is.
He's upset. Joe. So Andy, Joe D'Onofrio, who plays Andy.
Right.
He's upset. He's already obsessed with porn. He's obsessed with Jenna Jameson, and I don't know. One of the lines is, you think every girl that walks in here looks like Jenna Jameson, and then her name turns out to be Jenna, and then, like I said, it takes off from there. He plays a very funny character. He plays kind of like a geek, but like obsessed with porn. Mm-hmm. And
Which is hilarious.
But it's an obsession. It's an obsession it's not like creepy.
It's not
obsession.
creepy, right? Not a creepy obsession.
He views these films as Oscar-winning movies. I mean,
okay.
he
Quality art.
Quality art.
So,
he believes in the
okay.
passion of these movies.
So it's not like an addiction.
No. He's
Like most people
It's
we
a
know.
passion for him, just like somebody who loves novels or who loves
Okay.
baseball cards.
Okay. I get it.
And Gary, who are you playing?
Joe Barsha.
Just the name is funny.
We'll get to Gary.
Joe Barsha. He runs the company that Jonathan works in, and I'm a real strange character.
Wacko.
Wacko.
Oh, the
strange
scene we
character.
did. What you did on that scene, cannot wait until September.
Yeah, it's great when you got great writing and you're working with great actors. It's amazing the magic that happens on the set. You kind of just take it and you run with it and you embellish, and that's what happened.
And a great director.
And a great director. It was magical. It was just magical. So, that's the great thing about acting and finding quality work is being able to just take it and go.
And you did.
Well,
It was fun.
We both did. We had a good time. We got a lot more to do. I'm kind of bummed out. I only worked one day.
We want more. We can't wait till September.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Speaking of a great director, Tom.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, he's here.
I know I heard your voice in there somewhere. So you directed this thing. Did you write it too?
Yes, I wrote and directed this.
So what inspired you to write this comedy about who's Jenna Jameson?
Well, our first project under 624 Productions was a short film called Two Sides of Love, and after that, I've been writing some scripts, and one of the scripts I wrote was Who's Jenna Jameson, and I actually wrote it as a short film, and I did a private workshop reading of it last summer up at Producers Club in the city, and we read through it, and I invited some people that I really trust who would give me honest feedback, say this is good, this is terrible, and actually we read through four scripts. Two of them were mine, and two of them were somebody else's, and the other script that I wrote was completely horrible. I actually just threw it out that night. But everybody liked Who's Jenna, and someone said to me, and in fact, actually, I think Jen Jacob, who's in the studio here with me, said, I feel like there's more to this. There's more to this story.
Say something, Jen.
Okay. You mean I have to stop eating munchkins?
It's not on.
Is she on?
She's on.
I hear it.
Is she on?
So
You got to get closer to the mic.
That's Jen Jacobs.
Gotta really
Okay.
make out with it, huh?
So Jen Jacob actually was also in Two Sides of Love, and she was part of the reading that we did, the private reading. And I spoke with her afterwards, and I asked her, I was like, Jen, what did you really think about this? And she said, I loved it. She goes, but I think there's more to it. And I remember going back to my desk and home at my desk and just started writing, and I just expanded upon it. And I got, then when we were out in L.A., I saw Tracy, and I remember seeing Tracy at the AOF Film Festival Awards, and I saw her going up for her Maverick Award, and I turned to my wife and I went, I think I found my Jenna Casey. She looks like Jenna Jameson. And then at the Golden Door Film Festival that Bill Sorvino is the founder and runs, we spoke at the Golden Door Film Festival and got him the script, and Gary's got some great movies that have been in the festival. He's got a great movie called Distressed.
Right.
And spoke to Gary about it, and Gary and I kept saying, we got to work together. Got him the script. Then I got a Facebook message from Joe D'Onofrio, said, hey, I heard you casted
Because we work together all the time.
Yeah, he's like, I heard you casted
Fucking
Gary
frock.
Pastore and Bill Sorvino, could I read the script? And I remember looking at my wife, and I was like, holy so-and-so. I'm like, Joe D'Onofrio just texted me. I'm like, I'm going to send him the script. And then, we have Jill Christie Reese here, who's in the studio with us, and
Right.
Jill was in Two Sides of Love.
And we'll talk to her too in a little bit.
And reached out to Jill. I said, Jill, we'd like to have you part of this. And Tracy's agent actually.
It was my dog. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Tracy's robot's gone wild.
Was that your
Robot?
your frog, was it?
Are we having technical difficulties?
It's my dog.
So and then Tracy's agent said, do you have any other roles? And I said, we have a role for a young guy who is working for Jonathan's in Jonathan's office, the character Scott Peterson. And she said, and her agent said, well, there's this kid, this young guy, Edwin Guerrero, who's in the studio with us. And I shouldn't say kid because he can kick my butt right now.
And he's going to.
And he's younger than me, so anybody younger than me is a kid. I saw him immediately. I saw his headshot, and I was like, he's Scott Peterson. And I was like, yeah, let's cast him. And so it's been working with this whole cast has been amazing, and just they brought the words to life. And I know that sounds real flaky.
Well, no, that's
but
what they're supposed to do.
And Tom, we have a recent cast edition too that was just announced.
Yeah, and we just cast Vic DiBenedetto, who's he's going to be playing a client of Jonathan and Joe Barsha's. And so it's just
That's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we only shot 40 to 45% of the film
Right.
A couple weeks ago, and I'm just I can't wait for September because I've watched the footage, and just bringing this all to life has been great, and working with this cast makes my job as a director so much easier. And I try to create a collaborative atmosphere where I always go back to the actors and say,
Absolutely.
how do you feel about
Absolutely.
this? What do you want to do?
It's great because and we even started winding. Gary and I did some improving and stuff because Gary was just bringing this big gigantic character, and you were like, yeah, go do it, and we just had the best time just kind of rolling with these crazy ideas that Gary had, and that's the best. That's when you have the best fun. Is when whatever happens.
Yep.
And you're cool with that, and that's great. Yeah.
But Tom, you have this great cast together, and actually some of the filming was taking place in your house.
Yes.
So talk about that. How was it to film a movie in your home?
Because we kicked when the schedule kicked off, being in my house made it a lot easier versus going into location. So it was. My wife was it's funny because she was like, "You're filming here again," because we filmed some scenes in Two Sides of Love, and our director of photography, Jeff Sesselberg, we made sure that was like, all right, we cannot shoot the same angles or the same spots because people are going to recognize it. So we were very careful and wanting to do that, and I have to give a lot of credit to Jeff Sesselberg, my assistant director Brian Millard, and our cameraman, Brad Reeb, and Rudy Favorci, who's our production coordinator. I mean, we all came together and said, okay, we knew what we shot in Two Sides of Love. Now we have to use certain parts of the room. It was great. It was a great experience, and it was a lot of fun.
So tell us about the couch.
The couch.
The couch jumping.
Oh.
It was full of Tom Cruise.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We'll save that for the next interview.
Okay. All right, so... what kind of a budget do you have for a film like this?
So one of the lessons I learned out when I went out to the AOF Film Festival was you never tell anybody what your budget of a film is. Never.
Exactly.
Right, Tracy? I mean, Adele Weston spoke.
I'm over here like holding my breath, like, no.
Yeah, no, you never tell anybody.
I don't want anyone to know that it was $10 million. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, So, so we have a budget, and we took on investors, and we're still taking on investors. So we have people who are interested in buying shares, and it's been great. And just one other person that we have on the cast here is Mike Toda, and it's a very interesting story about bringing Mike on to the cast because I was interviewing here with you guys.
Yes, I remember.
About 2 months ago, was it?
Before the Garden State Film Festival.
Before the Garden State Film Festival for another short film that we did, and Mike and I start talking, and he's like, I'd love to work with you, and I'm like, all right, well, why don't you send me a reel? And I actually didn't think he was serious. I was like, yeah, well, he's a good radio guy, but whatever.
He actually had a reel.
And then he sent me a reel, and I'm like, holy crap!
He told me that. Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's a good actor.
Yeah,
okay, which reel did he send you?
It was the short film where you're playing the bad father.
Yeah, right.
And I watched it. I was like, damn. I'm like, this guy's good. I got to get him in this movie.
He's very good.
So
everyone, let me just say something about the acting. Every single person, and even talking about Jen back there and Edwin, they had not much to do yet, in the film. Jen had it was kind of a smaller role, but she had the little bits that she did. I was like taken back because she was so on point and real, and I had to deal with her a couple times. I was like, whoa, this girl is no joke. I mean, and then with Edwin, it was like we were at that bar scene, and he's had a presence. So everyone in this film, and then of course with we're going through all that stuff. But every single person that I've dealt with on this film, I'm in like almost every scene because like the movie kind of revolves around like my circumstances with all these different people. And every person I've dealt with, Tracy, of course, that goes without saying, but every single person I've dealt with on this film, I'm like, this acting is like out of control, high level.
My father
That's
was on
the same
set.
thing that I said. That's the same thing that when I went over there, because a lot of times in LA, and I hate to diss people, but a lot of times I always find out that I feel like I have to be so prepared because I have to prepare for other people not being prepared. And it was such a treat to go there. And Tom writes these really long ass scenes. I mean, they go on for forever, and everybody's just.
I'm still in the room.
I actually love that.
She can't
and
see.
anytime that you do a long scene,
like
usually
theater.
the directors will break it up. And most of the time, Tom didn't even break it up. And that's when you're starting to get some speed and you're really into it. And I came home and I called my boyfriend and I'm like, these actors are really good. Everybody's really prepared. I mean,
We're New York actors.
I know.
We're from Eatontown.
Eatontown.
But see, I'm
Freehold.
Eatonton.
Eatonton.
You have that, but you don't. It was just such a pleasure to have where everybody was like that. It made it so easy, and it made it where you could just live it, and you didn't have to you weren't acting because everybody knew all their stuff. It was fantastic.
I wanted to piggyback off what Tracy was saying. Was what was great about Tom was letting us go beyond what was on the page, especially towards the end, and really getting into the character, and I guess building that chemistry that we were building when we were at the bar. Especially Joe was just hilarious, all his outtakes. And I guess that just made it more comfortable for us. And then just seeing how Tom was able to just collaborate and always ask, how are you feeling in that? Let's try this, let's try that. What do you think? And if I said, how about if I turn this way, whatever. Just those minor things where, to me, at the end, it just brings the picture together and just makes you feel like, what? I'm actually am part of this film. And it was really, really great working with him and the rest of the cast, of course.
Yeah, and on that note, it's funny because when you do things when someone is also the writer and the director, sometimes they're married to their words. And Tom is just really open about the fact, hey man, just keep it organic, and if it doesn't work, change it. Just keep the moment real, and
it keeps it real.
And that's what it's about. So and I think that also comes from his acting background.
Yes.
So he's been on both sides of the fence, and he knows, okay, you know what? If it's not real in the moment, the words aren't going to make sense.
Because for me as the writer, when I put on the hat as the director, I take the hat off as the writer, and I realize the actors are living and breathing these roles much more than I did when I was writing it. Right at this point, they're living. I mean, it's kind of like putting the skeleton together.
Sure.
Right, and the script is a skeleton, and then what the actors do is they bring in the heart, the brains, the lungs,
all the organs. Right.
Yeah, they bring everything together, and
I guess organs is the wrong word for a porn flick.
But at that point, it's the writer has to step aside, right? And whether it's the writer is the director or the writer is on set, has to kind of step aside and let the actors live and breathe these roles. And if they don't feel that the character should be saying this, as long as it's within the realm of the story,
sure,
that's where it really comes from.
Well, they're bringing the characters to life.
Yeah, they're bringing a heartbeat.
So it's really it's more than just words.
Exactly.
So Tom, we have to ask the question, though, because of the title of the film, who's Jenna Jameson?
Yep.
Is there, or will there be, any presence of Jenna Jameson in the film?
That's a great question. And what I can say at this point is that we have reached out to Jenna Jameson's camp, and we are in the midst of negotiations with her and trying to get her, and hopefully getting her on as a cameo. I did write a scene for her. And in fact, Tracy and I were talking at the wrap party about maybe adding another scene where we can have a second cameo. So it looks all positive, and I think we'll have her as a cameo. I'm feeling very good about the negotiations right now. So
she could probably play somebody's therapist.
So.
She could play Bill's therapist.
There you go.
She could be Jonathan's therapist, right? That's funny.
Yes, and we're going to get to Bill in just a minute. But, but first, we're going to play another song. And this song is by Slim Chance and the Gamblers, What Kind of Man? That's one of our local New Jersey bands.
And this is this is in the soundtrack?
Yeah, this is on the soundtrack.
Yes.
And it's in one of the newest trailers that we released a couple weeks ago. So.
I'm feeling kind of left out here.
And we started that just as Ruben walked in.
There's the dog. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Slim Chance and the Gamblers. And Tracy, I see you've got your masseuse with you.
I was just proving to you it was the dog.
Okay, and we're going over to Bill now. Hey, Bill.
Hey.
Okay. I'm going to get into a serious question for a moment.
Okay.
I noticed that you actually studied acting at the William Esper Studio.
That's correct.
Can you tell us about that?
It was an amazing experience. It's it's known all over the world as one of the best acting studios in the world. William Esper studied with Sandy Meisner, and anyone who's an actor knows about Meisner technique. And my uncle, Paul Sorvino, studied with Bill Esper and Sandy Meisner as well. So when I decided to go into acting, there's no other place for me to go than to study with William Esper.
So for folks out there who don't really know, how would you describe the technique?
The technique is there's a lot to the technique. In a nutshell, it's
Well, just for a layperson.
you use your imagination to create circumstances. You have to live truthfully under imaginary circumstances. So you imagine circumstances that would give you the correct feeling in the situation that character is going through. And the technique really revolves around working off of true impulses and living in those moments in a way that is truthful, as if you're living through them.
Okay. So, and how do you apply that technique to your character?
I imagine the circumstances that I'm going through as using my own life as if something could happen in this way or something could happen in that way. And when it comes to those moments, I attach those feelings to those moments when the moments come up in the dialogue in the scene,
Mm-hmm.
and I try and get those because I do a lot of preparation to get those moments really solid.
That was my next question.
Yeah, I do a lot of I spend months with the script, and I try and create those moments throughout all of my dialogue. So whenever there's any kind of important moment, especially important moments, like there's a pretty pivotal moment in the film that we shot the other day. It was pretty good because I had done a lot of preparation for that. But the lighter moments don't require as much preparation, but you just kind of there's some of that. But the pivotal moments are where the movie is really people are going to walk away with. So I really try and have those as notched up as much as possible.
You're playing the character Jonathan Burke.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about the kind of man he is?
He's a guy who likes everything separate. And these are through my discussions with with Tom about the character. But he's a guy who and I'm kind of like this myself. He likes his work life being his work life, his romantic life is romantic life, his social life is social life, and family life family life. When things get too close to each other, he starts to kind of wig out a little bit, and things get gray instead of being black and white. And when those gray areas start to happen, he starts to he stops being a nice guy and starts to maybe go off the bean a little bit. So that kind of is, in a nutshell, is the premise of where this kind of story goes as it pertains to the things that happen in the film.
Yeah,
right?
I think the character sort of gets out of his comfort zone a little
That's
bit.
what it is. He gets out of his comfort zone a lot.
Is it out of yours too?
Well, no, I mean, I'm just acting. What do you mean?
No, I mean, if you were in that situation.
If I was in that situation, I think that there's parts of it that are definitely true to life for me, so it was not much of a stretch. But it was very critical that, again, with having a great director like Tom, having those discussions about the character and him helping me illuminate what the character is all, what the heart and soul of the character, the spine of the character is. When you come to acting the scenes out, you know who you are at that point. Even if it isn't me.
Yeah. Okay. Another question for you. You were named one of the 50 most influential people in the state of New Jersey.
No, Hudson County. That was someone else wrote that, and I had to correct it.
So that was wrong. Okay.
It was Hudson County, but yeah.
Hudson County.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you do to earn that?
The Golden Door Film Festival.
Okay.
It's,
Which is
it's the biggest film festival, it's up there with the top one or two in the state. I don't know who else is. There's Garden State and.
You founded that.
What's that?
You founded.
I founded the Golden Door Film Festival in Jersey City. And our attendance is very high, and we were pretty significant on the scene and stuff like that. So they put me in that top 50. I had no idea they were doing that, and I read the page. They told me, "Oh, you're in the top." I'm like, "What? Why?"
Out of 51?
Out of
Out of 49.
no, I was number 46 actually, out of 50.
We were talking about chemistry before, and this was the first time. Actually, you had met Tracy before working on this film with
Right.
her. So how was that, just like coming on set and saying, "Oh, hi, guess what?" You're
Well,
working
she's such a cool girl, a woman, whatever. She's a great person, and we even had this conversation on set. Having to do like sort of romantic stuff, you have to like the person, and if you don't like the person, it's going to be difficult. You have to force it, and that's when you say there's no chemistry on screen. So she's a really, really cool person, nice person at heart. So getting that kind of chemistry going was easy. It was like you're acting, but at the same time you're like, oh, this person's really, really a good person, and you have a feeling of whatever that is, and you easily get it.
Right, and that's why, like, when I saw you guys filming scenes together, it's like, if you're laughing, you're genuinely laughing
Right.
because you're having a good
Enjoying,
time, and,
yeah.
and that comes across, and it's not like
Right.
you're just making it up or acting.
If she was a jerk, I wouldn't have been able to do that
Exactly.
so well. Yeah.
Because you're a really good actor. So you would have found it anyway.
Well, thanks for that, but you made it easy. Thank you for making it easy and being a cool person.
Thanks, folks. I've got to cut you off for a few minutes. Got to go to a commercial break. And we're back on center stage talking to the cast of Who's Jenna Jameson? And now we have in front of us, me, Gary Pastor.
Hello.
Hello, Gary. How are you?
I'm great. How's everybody?
I don't know. How is everybody?
We're all good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's a good-looking crew, I got to tell you. Man, this is some good-looking cast.
This is quite a cast here, yeah. So, Gary.
And talented.
Yeah, really.
And look at that, Jenna. Sparkly.
Massaging her feet.
And they need it.
With her dog. So, Gary.
I'm at home, guys. Let's point out that I'm at home. Otherwise, this sounds really bad.
So, Gary, you've been working quite a lot last few years. I see the amazing Spider-Man, The Dark Knight Rises, Gotham.
Yeah, a lot of comic books.
Yeah, and in between all that, you've been you were talking about selling. You've been trying to sell your movie, Distressed, which won 2 awards. I don't want to get into all the details. We're running out of time, but just what were some of the problems you had or challenges, I should say, in finding investors?
It's funny, when you have a dream or a vision to make something, it's
Yeah.
your vision, and some people don't see your vision.
Right.
And it wasn't until the final product came out that people saw my vision, and they were like, I know that I had it at the Golden Door Film Festival with Bill, and Bill was blown away.
Won Best Doc.
A lot of
This is
people.
before we knew each other, by the way.
Yes, we didn't know each other, but we hit it off. But the film deals with stress and everyday life, and I tried to keep it kind of light. So I showed some funny parts of it because I don't want anybody going out committing suicide after they saw it.
Yeah.
But the film is great. I mean, it's I've had people come over to me and say, that they were strung out and they saw a sobriety after the film. And the fact that I was able to save somebody, that's worth the price of admission.
Oh, that's
So
awesome. Yeah.
I just need to get it out, because what good is it if it doesn't have an audience?
That's true with anything.
It's true with anything, yeah.
Yeah. So, what brought you to Who's Jenna Jameson?
The script. Well, I met Tom at the Golden Door with Lara, and they had seen my film, and he had mentioned something. He had 2 scripts, and he sent me Who's Jenna, and I said, I like the character of Basha because I haven't played him yet. I've always played gangsters or cops. I mean,
Yeah.
I could do it in my sleep.
Tell us about the character.
He's a CEO of this company, and he's a financial advisor. And as I was talking to Tom about the character, I said, I want to do this with him, and I want to do that with him, and I would like to see him do this. So I made him really quirky. And that's what's going to be fun about playing him, is that he's a nutbag. And he's got a hidden agenda, which I'm not going to mention. But
No, you're not.
He's got a hidden agenda, and he comes off all macho but you know he's a closet nutcase, and that's gonna be the funny part about playing him is that I'm gonna go into my little goodie bag of actor tricks and take all this fun stuff out. And I like props. I was talking to Tom about having props available for Joe Barsha.
Yeah.
I want him constantly looking at himself in the mirror. He's a narcissist, an egoist. Really, can I say douchebag?
Yeah, like most people we know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I also this past week I just did a sitcom with the guys from 30 Rock, and again it was an invite. They called me and they said, we got a little part for you. Joshua Williams called. He's a director. And I worked with Grizz Chapman and Kevin Brown. And we did this scene the other day, and a lot of it was improv. And I love improvisation. It's the Marty Scorsese School of Acting.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun when you feed off the other actors. That's the Meisner technique. You take what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Somebody gives you something, you go back at it.
Right.
And the banter started. So, it's called Mismanagement. And I met the executive producer, Renee Rivera, the other day, and he said, dude, this goes. You got a role in it. He said, you were awesome. And I love to do that. I mean, to get in and do that. It's just like Jenna. I think the film's going to rock, and especially with this cast.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I can't wait to go back and shoot.
Oh, thank you, Gary. Okay.
You're welcome.
We are running a little short, so I got to get to a few more people. First, let me give you a real quick transition song. What are we doing? Begin again.
And that's by?
That is by who? I'm sorry, wait a minute.
No. Which one are you playing next?
We're playing
We're playing Something More. Or I think
Something More.
Something More, and that's SVB.
Thank you.
You feel your heart as it slowly hits the floor. There's no escaping what he has for you in store. I can't get enough of this so-called love. You see the light as it slowly hits your eyes. There's something special, something that you can't deny.
And that was Something More by SVB from Los Angeles?
Yeah, they're an LA band.
LA band. Okay, I understand Tracy has to sign off. So we're going to say thanks for being with us. And
Bye, Tracy.
Bye, Trey.
adios.
See you in September.
See you in September.
See you guys later. Thank you.
You missed Gary dancing to that.
Yes.
I did. I missed that. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye, Tracy.
Bye-bye.
Okay. We're going now to, where's Jen Jacob? She's here somewhere.
I'm hiding.
Hey, Jen.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
Now, Jen plays a very interesting character in this film. Her name is Sheila. And Jen's character has made an appearance in one of Tom's films before.
Yeah, she's like a groupie.
I'm the total groupie. Yeah.
So
So-
what can you tell us about Sheila?
Yeah.
Well, Sheila is a character that is in Two Sides of Love as well, and I play Jenna's cousin. And she's kind of a sassy, crazy, funny girl. There isn't too much to say about her in this film, just kind of helping Jenna along her journey.
But she's a transition character. She kind of comes and goes throughout all of the 624's films.
Definitely. She's never leaving, ever. She's going to keep my acting career going forever.
Okay, so how does she How does she fit into the scheme of the story?
So she's Jenna's cousin. So in Two Sides of Love, we leave her at the altar of a wedding, leaving her about-to-be husband. She decides to leave him at the altar, which is awesome. And this is like her.
Everybody should do that at least once in their lives.
Yeah, liberating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this film,
Wish I had done it.
That's awkward if your wife is listening. And so she,
Not
in this
really.
film, has just, yeah, you got to get that in there. She probably is listening. So in this film, she is kind of restarting her life, and Jenna's really helping her do that. And she's just sassy.
Uh-huh. So kind of a transitional character.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll see her in upcoming
We'll see her
films,
again.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
We're not going to get rid of
She'll
Sheila
be
too
back.
soon.
She'll be back. She's nuts.
The sequel.
The sequel, yes. All right. And let's see. We've got Jill Christie Rice? Reese, I'm sorry.
Hi.
I beg your pardon.
Accepted.
All right. So Jill, you played Jonathan Burke's secretary.
Yes.
What kind of a secretary are you?
Well, you know what? My scenes haven't filmed yet, but I'm so excited to be part of the
Will
film.
you be?
I play Diane Holden, so I'll be working with Gary and Bill, and also an interaction with Michael that we were talking about earlier that's going to be really
That's
fun.
right, we're working it out.
Ah.
So I haven't had my official direction yet for September, but I'm really excited. I worked on Two Sides of Love with Tom's crew before, and it was just
Right.
such a positive thing.
So is this a sequel now?
No, it's not a sequel for me. Actually, in Two Sides of Love, I was the gynecologist,
Ah.
but now I'm a totally different person.
How did you prepare for that role?
Quite a change in occupation.
No, it wasn't.
I was thinking that. I didn't want to say it.
No, I'm just thinking like you take every bad experience and you
No, I didn't do any method for that, so no, it was good.
And a fun fact was that I guess you hadn't officially met Jen Jacob until tonight.
Right.
I made that up in my head that we have met before, so I guess that's not
No, we
true.
haven't, but I'm so glad too. And it was, it happens like that a lot. You'll do scenes and you're on set different days, and sometimes you don't meet the other actors till you're actually at the premiere. But it's so great because then all this positive energy comes together, and it's exciting.
Right, and that's kind of different because you met by watching each other on film before you actually met, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. And we also have here my headphones aren't working that great. Anyway, Edwin Guerrero.
Oh, yeah.
Sir.
Edwin, tell us about your part.
I played Scott Peterson, and I'm Jonathan, played by Bill Sorvino's protege over at the firm of Arrowhead. And I'm one of the issues that ends up coming up that he has to deal with. And at the same time, he's trying to help me along. It's a great role. I'm having a lot of fun. The first day shooting was awesome.
Yeah, you kind of have a dual occupation too. You make a pretty mean martini, don't you, on
Yes,
set?
I do. Yes, I know how to
I
make
think I can use one.
shaken, not stirred. Yes.
Edwin plays also a bartender in Who's Jenna Jameson.
I actually got offered a job too that day by the owner of the bar that we
Really?
were working at. Yeah,
That's how
the funny
convincing
part.
he
So did you have to go to bartending school to prepare for the role?
Actually, I used to bartend in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. So
Williamsburg.
That's where I live.
yeah. So okay.
What bar?
At Uba. It closed down. It used to be on Grand Street. So yeah,
And
it wasn't a stretch.
You had some really fun scenes. I think that, some of the outtakes are going to be incredible if we get a blooper reel going. But you and Joe D'Onofrio really, what do you want to say about working with them?
Oh, well, working with Joe and with Bill is just amazing. I mean, Joe's so funny. When we were like rehearsing for it off camera, he was like, what, I'm just gonna go with it. Just go with it. And everything that he came up each and every time, and I guess trying to do something different, it was just hilarious because my character has a certain thing that I'm not. It's more overt than it is, and just I guess doing those little skits at the end was just insane. If there is a blooper reel, that's gonna be awesome.
Well, I can't wait to see the blooper reel.
Oh yeah, there were some great bloopers and
Yeah.
outtakes on the day that I was shooting. It was just so funny. I mean, because working with Joe is such an organic experience. Joe is just someone who we'll do something one take, and every take is completely different. It's completely new. He thinks about, his mind is always working. We could do this in a scene. We could do that in a scene. And then sometimes he'll just do stuff. And it's great because, coming from him, and we were talking about the Meisner technique before, and we've had this conversation.
We have,
That's the same school that I've studied. So it's sort of, you just react off of what the person is doing, and give me something.
It works well.
And so it's just funny because just by chance, everybody has the same working style, and so when you try something, they just bounce off of that, which is not very common. Very often you're working with somebody, and when you try something new, they're like, whoa, 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 and they get completely thrown off. So it was just really great, and I think that lends to a lot of the chemistry in the film, because when you try something new, everybody rolls with it. And it's not like, oh wait, we got to stop. He didn't do that the last take, or So it was a really great experience. And then it helps you to become more creative. And then you're trying new things, and everybody's trying new things, and all of a sudden the scene becomes more natural.
Yeah.
The more everybody does it.
So how did you prepare for your role as Kevin Steele?
That was my next question.
Here's the thing. It's odd, right? How do you play a porn star? You can't play a porn star, so you have to take the dialogue that's written and try and find out how to make this person real. At the end of the day, that's his job. It's not who he is. It doesn't define him as a human being.
Right.
And so from that standpoint, I just looked at the dialogue that Tom wrote and the relationships that he was trying to build, and tried to say, what's the heart and soul of this guy? And at the end of the day, I'm playing a person with a job that maybe, just something that's a little bit unusual, a little bit, out of the ordinary, if you will. But, who's to judge him? I don't judge the character at all.
Right. So what makes a person go into that line of work, become a porn star? It's the same question. What makes somebody become a lawyer, a writer, or anything else?
Exactly.
Certain personalities go into certain lines of work.
Right. And but it doesn't make him a bad person, to quote to sound cliche.
Yeah.
It's sort of he is a at the end of the day, I think Kevin is a great guy who happens to be a porn star. And you look at some criminals, that people turn around and I met this guy and that guy, and they were a great guy. Yeah, but you know what? During the day, they killed people.
Yeah. And John Gotti went to church every Sunday.
There you go. I didn't want to mention any names.
Well, he's from your neighborhood, not mine.
But that was Harvey that said that. So Harvey, if you're not here next week, let me know. Laura's ready to replace you. But in any event, all I'm saying is I don't judge these people.
Right.
And at the end of the day, they very well may be, great people, and what circumstances led them to fall into the line
that was
of
my
work.
point. Yeah.
And I think that's part of the whole script, right? The whole script has to do with judgment, right? While everybody turns around, you tell them the title of the film, and they make jokes, and who's Jenna Jameson, and yada yada. But at the end of the day, no one really knows who she is, and she could be the sweetest person on earth.
Maybe.
So, it doesn't matter. And let's face it, everybody I know enjoys porn. And
well, that was my next question. I was going to ask you what your experiences are in the industry.
Listen, like most guys.
Notice he's not answering it.
It's accessible. I am answering it. I have no shame in answering a question about. It's why is it so taboo? It's not really.
Well, that's only in this country.
But it's not even in this country, right? It's just in certain circles, and let's face it. What people do as adults and indulge in. I mean, whatever. Someone wants to smoke pot or whatever. I mean, it's fine. I mean, let's get off the high horse and stop living like Victorians.
Yeah.
I also have to just clarify, though, this movie is not about porn.
No,
Like,
it's not
even
about
sort
porn.
of.
But what I'm saying
It's
is
really not.
But what I'm saying is that
but it's about people.
I think it's
Yeah,
about
but we're
pe-
talking about porn stars like a lot. I just want to clarify for the listeners.
Well,
that
because that's his role.
It's
It's
about
a comedy.
I think it's about labels, is what I'm saying. It's about labels. It's Kevin Steele is a porn star,
Right.
But he shouldn't be judged because of the work that he's doing, right? So the question is, how do you play a porn star? You just play a human being.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
They are.
at the right. So that's the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good point. It was just to clarify. We talked a lot about porn stars, and most people that ask me about this film because of the name of it think that I'm doing a porn. So just clarifying, this movie is a romantic comedy.
And it's all about a case of mistaken identity, of making an assumption about somebody because of the way she looks. And Jenna Casey is a lawyer. She's not the person that Andy in the movie assumes she is. So
I think Tom,
And that happens every day.
I think Tom did a great job in giving each character a lot of layers that we can play off. And I guess when people see the film, they're definitely going to know it's not about porn. And they're going to see that each character has a lot of complexities to them and the layers. And like you said about judgments, how it is that society is also putting these labels on them, and how you have this one individual, which is Joe, putting all these pressures on one individual. And that happens a lot in life. So
Sure. I mean, we're all multi-tiered, multi-layered, and there are many components and facets to all of us. And, of course, there should be in your characters as well.
correct.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, right? Is that you don't approach a character necessarily by the job that they hold. All right, if I mean whether they were a financial planner, a Wall Street executive, or whatever, that's not who the character is, right? The character's job doesn't necessarily define them. So whether the character was a porn star or a lawyer or a doctor how do you play a doctor? How do you play a lawyer?
Well, yeah, but there's a caveat to that. So typically, people are given certain jobs. They're given certain personalities within those parts that kind of fit those jobs. It doesn't have to be, but that's what they're doing.
Right, and I think that's where the actor's job comes in, is to do the homework to kind of say what's behind that. How do you layer the character so that they're perhaps something different than what one would expect?
Well, playing a character isn't about archetypes. It's about what the person wants in life and in the scene. And so speaking to just what their personality traits are like, it doesn't build a person.
Michael?
Or a character.
No, I agree.
We're all on the same page?
Yeah.
Yes.
Got real serious, right?
Yeah, it
there.
did.
It's like, what happened? We're having a good time. This got real deep.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting ready to close out, actually. Do we have anything we want to say to the people?
I don't have any news. Do you have any news?
No,
Well, it's David Letterman's last show tonight.
I saw that.
And I want to say it was a great 33 years. I mean, in college I watched Dave, and I always pick Letterman over Leno. Wasn't really a fan of Leno. So from that standpoint, I think that I wish him well in his retirement. And
amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
And
We gotta bring God.
I'm certainly gonna miss him on late night.
Yeah.
And I think just how he made a lot of people laugh, I think that this movie, Who's Jenna Jameson, is going to make a lot of people laugh.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, and we hope by the end of 2015.
That's right. Pacifically, at the end of 2015, we are going to hopefully have this movie done. And with that, Ruben is sort of
in the building,
creating a closing song, which is probably some kind of Disney thing, Let It Go, or something like.
I got the closing song.
Oh, you've got the closing song. Ah,
I've got my finger on the button.
so Ruben can't sabotage the show. And for our new listeners over at Analog Radio, that's typically what happens when we bust Ruben's chops. And Ruben is our engineer who typically can't get our mics right. So when we bust his chops and call him out on that, he kind of likes to close the show with some kind of Mary Poppins tune, as opposed to some kind of AC/DC tune.
Supercalifragilistic.
So
This time we're going to close the song, and
We're gonna close the song.
and close the show with one more from the soundtrack of Who's
We
Jenna
all right.
Jameson.
And in just a moment, I got one more announcement. Last one, I promise.
okay.
Okay. So next Wednesday is going to be the premiere of our new show, the Monthly Roundup, and we will be talking news, politics, legal developments in a roundtable format, and it's going to be kind of intense. So we've got several people lined up for this month. Starting next month, Laura Matson is going to be joining us.
Yeah, I'll be back. Can't get rid of me.
I can't get rid
Look
of
at
her.
that. Look at that.
So we're going to have fun with that. And with that, thanks to all of you for being here. It's been a great show.
Thank you.
Michael, appreciate it.
Yes, so thanks to the cast of Who's Jenna Jameson, and thank you to our friends over at analogradio.net for allowing us to syndicate with them and be a part of their family. So we welcome that opportunity, and we'll be back again in 2 weeks.